rich history of this place owes much to its geographical location. Located in the borderlands, the gateway from the Carpathian Mountains to the lowland plains, on the navigable Sand River, which of course created great trade opportunities. And that is why this town, Przemyśl, grew up. I'm standing here in the market square in Przemyśl at the beginning of our journey, a journey through history which takes us from the end of the Roman Empire to the end of the Second World War, a rich history of people, of buildings, of institutions. Join me on Poland Daily History as we see Przemyśl above ground and below ground. We're here in the crypt of the cathedral here in Przemyśl, or to give it its proper name, the Cathedral Basilica of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. John the Baptist. And I'm joined by Father Marek Wojciechowski, who's the director of the Archdiocesan Museum. Thank you for joining us, Father Marek. Now, I think I'm right in saying that the church, or Christianity at least, first came to this region in about the 9th century.
Yeah, it could be possible, but the first churches which we can find in this town are from 11th centuries.
Okay, and I think I'm right in saying the first church was in fact a wooden church.
First cathedral church in Przemyśl perhaps was wooden church, St. Peter's Church, but we didn't know before that under the Gothic cathedral we have Romanesque remains of Rotunda of St. Nicholas. And it could be Rotunda of St. Nicholas or Church of St. Peter, the first cathedral in Przemyśl.
Right. And when was just looking before you actually talk into the detail about the buildings, when was the Diocese of Przemyśl first established?
The diocese was established in 1340, but the first bishop who came here to Przemyśl was Eric from Vincent. It was about 1376-77. And we have an information that in 1375 our diocese was joined to Halicz metropolis, and it is the first correct information about our diocese.
And how extensive is the diocese in terms of geographical reach?
Today it is 1/3 of the original diocese. Today our diocese is in the Bieszczady mountain region, near to Krosno, Rzeszów and Leżajsk. It's the southeast part of Poland.
Yes.
And in the past, it was much larger because it was to Vistula River and to San River and near to Lwów in Ukraine, to Dniestr.
Oh, right, okay, so that's actually quite a large area. I mean, I think that just comparing it with England, I mean, some of the dioceses in England used to be much larger. For example, the Diocese of Lincoln, which is part of the world I know quite well, used to stretch from the River Humber to the River Thames, which, if you know a map of England, is quite large. So I think it is obviously the case that in history the boundaries of dioceses changed. And of course it's very interesting because we're sitting here today, of course, in the crypt, and we can hear in the background, which our viewers probably can't hear, that the diocese is a very exciting day for the diocese today because you're ordaining some new priests. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting and very important day for diocese. Today will be ordained 8 new priests for our diocese.
That's fantastic, and we were just here earlier, which the viewers won't see, but when they were getting ready, and that's very exciting. And in terms of looking at the diocese and the history of the diocese, what have been some of the great events or notable historic events that have been particular to this diocese?
It's hard to say which was very important. We have many different events and histories about our diocese which are important. Maybe it could be that the next rebuilding of our cathedral, it could be interesting for someone, I think.
Yes, well, we'll get on to the actual buildings in a moment. And in terms of looking at sort of Poland as a whole, which of course with the, obviously over the years as borders change, of kings go and things happen. I mean, is Przemyśl one of the earliest established dioceses in Poland?
Yeah, and it still exists. Today we have, I think, 64 or 66 bishops of Przemyśl living here and
leading the diocese. Yes,
yeah.
yes, really, excellent, excellent. And I think this is, people often underestimate this. I think that they think of the church obviously as an institution where they go and pray and which plays a major part in their daily lives, but also there's a great history, isn't there, with the diocese and with the bishops and the clergy who are part of it in terms of relating, this living tradition from the very first cathedral, the very first bishop to the present day. And I think that's one of the exciting things about history, when you have these institutions like the church and this sort of living, this living institution that connects people, if they take the trouble to think about it, of course, with the past.
This tradition is still alive because every bishop, every new bishop of Przemyśl, when is his ingress.
When he becomes installed as bishop, yes.
Yeah, he begins his lead in a diocese in a Franciscan church in Przemyśl, and next procession goes to Cathedral, and it is a solemn mass, inauguration of leading of diocese. It's for memory about our first bishop, who was a Franciscan.
Ah, right. That's interesting, isn't it? Because the link with the Franciscans is sort of rather oblique link, because the current pope, of course, has taken the name of Francis, and I think he's the first pope to have taken the name of Francis. And I can remember years ago going to Assisi, and of course we've got the great Basilica to St. Francis there. And so it's interesting that you have these historical links. Father Marek, as you said, Przemyśl is one of the earliest and therefore longest established dioceses in Poland. I mean, and obviously seen, I think you said 60 bishops since it's...
More than 60 bishops.
More than 60. I wonder if you can cast your, well, not cast your mind back, but sort of dig into your memory in a sense and think, of any of these 60 bishops, have any been particularly interesting characters or even notorious characters, or have any done exciting things, either or led rebellions against foreign powers, or written works of great theological value, or created great buildings?
Yeah, I can tell about Alexander Antoni Fredro, our bishop in 1724 to 1734, which rebuilt our cathedral.
Yeah.
But this rebuilding was unfortunately bad, because after it, this vault of cathedral collapsed.
Ah, right, the roof collapsed.
The roof collapsed and destroyed all the nave of cathedral. Bishop often travel to Rome, to Italy, and bring to Przemyśl lots of paintings and decorating things to this cathedral. Some of this we still have in our museum, and lots of these things was destroyed during this catastrophe.
When you build buildings and restore buildings, you have, of course, some sort of disaster which takes you back. And one thinks, of course, not a Polish matter, but obviously it's the church, so it's universal. The irony of in Notre Dame in Paris, of course, where it's the work to restore the building led to this fire which has got to destroyed the roof. And we hope no doubt that'll be rebuilt. But
I can also speak about another bishop.
Yes, please do.
Who is a saint. It is a Saint Józef Sebastian Pelchar, which was from 19 to 1924, our
Right.
bishop. And he established our museum also, and
good.
rebuilt next time a cathedral in neo-Gothic style. It was very important bishop for our diocese and also for whole of Poland. His leads begins in period of partition
Yes.
of Poland, and during the First World War, and after it to 1924. It was very hard time and very interesting. I think so. He also do lots of things in Przemyśl, in our diocese.
Okay. Have any of the bishops of Przemyśl gone on to do anything in the church internationally? Have any gone on to Rome and achieved high office in the church?
Some of them, not of bishops, from our priests, became after cardinals, like Cardinal Puzyna from Kraków. He was the first, our canon here in Przemyśl.
Ah, right. So that he have got a good theological training in Przemyśl, which sort of set him up to be able to achieve great things in the church.
Another important person who was born near Przemyśl in Krasiczen was Cardinal Adam Sapieha, Adam Prince of Sapieha.
Ah, right. Okay. Just going back to Cardinal Pusin, he achieved some quite remarkable things as well.
Yeah, because he started a restoration of our cathedral in 1887. Another person who was very important in Polish history was Ignacy Krasicki, who was born also near Przemyśl in Dubiecko, and the first was our priest, and the next was a bishop in Warmia and a primat of Poland in 18th century.
Right. Okay. So this diocese has produced some quite a number of notable figures.